Hi everybody, welcome back to SlipTwpKnit. I'm Shelby and I come to you from Shelby Township, Michigan, aka Shelby Twp, aka the Twipp, and this is where I do my knitting. If you're new here, thank you for taking a chance and giving me a shot and watching me. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you as always for coming back. I really appreciate it. This is my knitting podcast and I have a few things to talk to you about. This probably will be a shorter episode than usual. I don't know if I'm gonna have a lot of chatter at the end, but if you're new here, brief explanation of my name. As I said, my name is Shelby. I'm from Shelby Twp, Shelby Township, aka Shelby Twp. The name of the podcast is a mashup of Shelby Twp, or the Twipp, and SlipTwpKnit, which is the decreased stitch in knitting. One of them, anyway, one of the decreased stitches. So, at hand, I have 3 works in progress, very similar to the last couple of weeks, same projects. So if you're tired of me knitting on the same things, it's fine. I understand. I have plans for some other projects, but I haven't started them yet because I'm trying to not go crazy with casting on. That being said, I'll talk to you about what I've got. I don't have any FOs, which I think is pretty much par for the course of over the last 3 or so episodes, but I can talk a little more. I feel like I've made pretty significant progress on at least 2 of these. So I'll start with the first, which is my Love Note sweater. If you are unfamiliar with a Love Note, it is a top-down sweater by Tin Can Knits. This is my yarn. It's impaled. I dropped my mohair. I almost dropped my yarn. So, oh my gosh, this is just a nightmare. Okay, here, we'll slip that off for just a second. This is where I am with my Love Note. As I said, it is a top-down sweater by Tin Can Knits. It looks really good. Top-down sweater by Tin Can Knits. I am knitting this on these are size US 9 needles. I don't know how long my cable is for the thing, but these are interchangeable. I got some Knitter's Pride Karbonz as an interchangeable set, but this is the progress this is where I'm currently at with my Love Note. I believe last time I recorded, I was not quite finished with the first lace repeat. I think I was towards the end of it, so I was probably about here. So since then, is this gonna be more comfortable? I don't know. I went to the gym this morning and it ruined everything. So since then, I finished all of the lace and I have separated for the sleeves. And then I am now on Body Island and I have 3.5 inches of the body done. And I'm super happy with the way this is turning out. As you can see, I'm almost out of yarn, which, by the way, I can tell you about my yarn. I hope this fits. It'll fit. It'll look good once it's blocked. I think it'll fit. So the fingering weight yarn that I'm using is Stress Knits, and it's on the Tweedy base in the color Betty. And then my mohair is Shibui Silk Cloud in the color Ash. I don't think I'm very good at reminding at telling you guys what yarn I'm using, to be honest. So anyway, where I am with this, I'm in the process, like I said, of knitting the body, which is exciting. This is the first adult sweater I have really even attempted. I do have my farmhouse cardigan. That's what it is now. It's a cardigan. Anyway, my farmhouse cardigan is still just one sleeve and 2 pocket linings. I've kind of been focusing more on this. I have been working on this. I don't know if you guys are new or you just don't pay attention, which you might not. I'm knitting this with, not knitting it with, kind of. I'm doing this kind of as like a knit along with my friend Kelly from Miss Kel's Crafty podcast. So she is working on one and it's in this really pretty wine color, and she's hoping for it to be her Christmas sweater. I think this would be good for late winter, early spring. And I want to knit another one already, just because, why not? I want to do it in probably like green or rust. I want to have a spring sweater and I want to have a fall sweater, is what I'm turning out, because the lace section of this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And I'm trying to think what else there is. There's not a whole lot else to say. I'm going to, the knitting pattern for this has 2 options. You can go for a cropped length, which I want to say is 5 inches for the body once you, like from the underarm. I don't anticipate doing that. I don't really like crop tops. So I'm going to knit it full length, at least in the body, and then the sleeves, I am not gonna knit a full sleeve because I pretty much, today's not a good example, but I usually do have my sleeves basically about rolled up to 3/4 length. So that's kind of my plan there. And I think, I mean, I feel like I have enough yarn, and I love this color. This is my second skein of the Betty. I just really love this color. I think Stacy at Stress Knits, she did a really great color. She did a really great job with this color. So that's my love note. I'm just kind of on Body Island, which I don't know if I'd rather be on Body Island or Sleeve Island. But this is it's a lot of just straight mindless knitting, except you don't want to be too mindless with it, because I find that holding things double, I get nervous about dropping stitches, or like, you know, dropping one strand in the next stitch. So I try not to be too mindless of it, but it's pretty easy going at this point. Not that the lace was difficult. Like I said, I really like this pattern, and I'm excited to knit more on this because I'm about to go on vacation in a week, and I'm not taking this with me. I have other things. I can talk a little bit about I'll talk a little bit about my vacation knitting a little later. Also, probably will talk quite a bit about vacation knitting in my next episode, which will be going live while I'm on vacation, but I am planning to record before I leave and edit. I need to edit before I leave too. So that's my plan. I'm planning to stick to the plan. Believe it or not, that's why it's called a plan. But you know what they say, God laughs. Man makes plans and God laughs. So I guess we'll really see how it goes, but I feel like so far I've been pretty good about at least having a new episode up every Tuesday. I am not, there have been a couple times where I have not necessarily knit. I can't even compute today. There have been weeks where I haven't necessarily been very good about recording during the week, which is normally what I do. And then I edit and I try to have the episode ready for like the following Tuesday. So this I'm recording today, it goes live tomorrow. So I'll talk a little bit about it later maybe. It's not a very fun thing to talk about though. So, okay, we'll put those two back. I really am enjoying that project, it's great. Okay, so this is what I was knitting on today. By the way, I have it in a project bag that is Beauty and the Beast. I got this from Prairie Dye Studio. I saw it, one of the girls on Cozy Up Knits has this, and I love Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is probably my favorite Disney movie. Obviously, the animated one. I think the one with Emma Watson in it needs to go die in a fire, to be honest. But regardless, I really like Beauty and the Beast. And even if I didn't like Beauty and the Beast, I love the colors on this so much I probably would have bought it anyway. But I really like that. And in that project bag, I have my Moonflower socks. And these are what I was working on today. And last time I recorded, I actually had a progress keeper. I actually put a progress keeper on this stupid thing. But this is exactly where I was last time. I had just finished I had done the thing. The first lace repeat. I had finished my first lace repeat. So what I'm doing with this pattern, oh, by the way, this pattern is by Very Busy Monkey on Ravelry. Moonflower socks, Very Busy Monkey. Her name is also Stephanie Edding. Anyway, and there's my Hawaiian pizza stitch marker. But I finished my first lace repeat of this sock last time. And so what I did, and this one I already have one sock done. So here's sock number 1. Sock number 2 is in the works, and I made quite a bit of progress today. Previously, before today, I had made some okay progress, but not a whole lot. These socks, if you are not aware, I am so disorganized this afternoon. I am so disorganized today, and it is showing up in my mind and in the way I'm talking, and I'm very sorry. Any hoozles. These socks, they're for my mom for Christmas. And I've already made her one pair, not in this pattern, but a different one. But I wanted to make my mom 3 pairs of socks because I usually get my mom 3 pairs of socks for Christmas. And that's fine. I started the other ones in like June, so I have 1 pair done. I also have another pair on the needles. I just haven't made a whole lot of progress with them since. I don't think, regardless, doesn't even matter. I made this, and this is what it looks like up close. So this pattern, if you're new to lace, is probably a good one. It's not very complicated. It's knitting, purling, decreases, and yarn overs. So I really like it. I think before today I was probably here, and then I've been off and I've been working on it, and I was running around and I took it with me. but I've since completed the heel flap and turned the heel. I've also picked up the stitches for the gusset. So if you're familiar, the gusset is my favorite part of a sock to knit. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else about this sock? This was my lunch knitting. Like, I would knit on my lunch break. I'd find a room in the office and just like go knit in there for an hour on my lunch. That hasn't happened lately. Work, I had 48 hours this week, which is not good. My work-life balance is terrible. I had 40 hours by the time I left on Thursday. But I haven't been taking lunch breaks either, just because there is so much to do. Hence why my team said, Shelby, take Monday off. We can't stand you. So I'm kind of playing catch up on this one, and it'll get done. I'm not too worried about it. I got to start having lunch breaks again. So, and last, kind of, I have the pattern I've talked about in literally every episode of this podcast since its induction. Anyway, I have my Woodland Walk sock, which since the last time, apparently I had the sense of mind, the sense of mind. Apparently I actually was present enough to put a progress keeper on it. So I was, oh my God, I just thought I dropped my needle. So I was right about there, or I was exactly there. And since then I have knit this much. So I finished the leg, I did the heel flap, and the heel flap on this sock took me forever. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm starting, I don't want to say I'm losing my sock mojo, but I'm nervous because it took me forever to finish this heel flap. And then over the weekend, I turned the heel and had picked up stitches for the gusset. So a lot of this progress has been over the last couple of days for any of these. And I forgot to tell you what yarn the Moonflower socks were on. Anyway, regardless, I know I've talked about those socks a lot too. This is KnitPicks Stroll in the color Pumpkin, and because I do this in every single episode, here's what the Woodland Walk sock looks like up close. It's got a cute little leaf motif. And yes, I still plan to make a 5th pair of these. I'm just not sure when. And I really love, this is one of the first pairs of socks I like, one of the first pairs of socks I've ever made. And this pattern specifically, rather. And I've made, this is the 4th pair I've made this year. So I'm gonna make a 5th. It's a free pattern on Ravelry too by This Handmade Life. And it really is just a wonderful, fun pattern. And once you get the hang of it, this is another one. Yarn overs, decreases, knitting and purling, super easy, which is why I highly, highly, highly recommend it if you are new to socks, or if you haven't ever knit anything that wasn't a vanilla sock. Okay, so where was I? Now I can talk a little bit about chatter or planned projects, I guess. So this past weekend, it rained, and I went wine tasting with my my girlfriend from work, Marissa, except she doesn't work with me anymore. She says she's since gotten a new job. But we're still hanging out and we're still getting wine and cheese together, and we are still going to trivia. And she and I noticed over the weekend, every time Marissa and I go wine tasting, it rains. So I don't want to jinx it, but if you live in an area that's prone to drought or something, you know, maybe give me a call. I can call Marissa and we can go wine tasting and it'll rain for you. That might only work locally. I haven't decided if that's the case, but she and I have been wine tasting 4 different times and it's rained every single time. And like hard rain, like gross, hard, nasty, driving down M59 and not really able to see whatever is in front of you, raining, like really bad. So that's what Marissa and I did this past week, kind of as a, not as a going away present, because she and I would do it anyway, even if she didn't go to a different place of employment. But Marissa and I also went, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we went to the Michigan Fiber Expo in, I don't think it's actually in Ann Arbor. It's in Washtenaw County, which is where Ann Arbor is, but it's like between Ann Arbor and Saline in some barns. And she and I went. It was great because Marissa crochets. I should probably preface that. Marissa crochets. She wasn't just some friend I made go look at and smell yarn with me that day. So she and I went and we both had a really good time. I'm not gonna do a haul. I don't really like hauls. Haul videos are not my thing. Like, they're really just not. I think I have a lot of negative feelings about haul videos. But anyway, this plays into, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my vacation knitting, and this is how it plays in. So I bought this yarn, and this I'm taking on my vacation. This is a color, this is the Vesper sock yarn from Knitterly Things, and it looks like this up close. And it's in the colorway Bold and Beautiful. And I was stuck between this color and one that was super Christmassy, and I went with this one, even though I really did like the Christmassy one. I hope Knitterly Things, well, actually I should see how I like this yarn first, but I really liked her yarn and I really liked her booth at the Fiber Expo. I really liked her booth. I really liked her yarn. So hopefully she'll be at the one in spring. The Fiber Expo actually happens twice a year. They have one in the spring and they have one in the fall. I'm gonna miss the one next fall because my friend Kelly decided to get married that weekend. But I can make it to the one in spring, hopefully. Hopefully nobody has a shotgun wedding or a spur of the moment wedding. I just hope there are no nuptials that interfere with me going to the Spring Fiber Expo. Regardless, this yarn specifically, I'm taking on vacation to me. I'm taking this one on vacation to Florida with me, and I am going to be knitting a heel toe. I'm gonna be knitting a pair of heel toe do-si-do socks. If you're unfamiliar, that is a fun pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady, Kay Litton, and it is, I think, specifically designed for self-striping socks because it kind of does a chevron. It's super fun. And this, I actually don't have a yarn swift at home or a ball winder. I had to take this to one of my local yarn stores and they were gracious enough to wind up a couple of balls of yarn for me that I hadn't bought there. And they didn't even charge me a service fee, and I felt really guilty about it. But the girl who was doing the winding also told me she couldn't accept tips. So I'm not gonna abuse that, but I really appreciate that because I can now take this on vacation with me and not have to worry about winding it by hand, which is usually what I have to do, and I'm actually kind of a disaster at. So, all things considered, this is great. I'm really excited to be knitting on it. I have a couple other projects planned for my vacation, and I'll talk about them next time as well, just because I'm not taking any of my current WIPs with me. So that's what's going on in my world. And I mean, really, that's kind of about it. I don't want to talk about work, to be honest. I don't want to think about work. I have to go back to work tomorrow. I woke up early this morning to go to the gym. They tried to kill me. They made me row for like 13 minutes. 13 minutes on a rower. And I somehow made it out alive. But anyway, I'm just trying to think what's going on. Oh, this is a fun thing. This is the last thing before I leave. And I'll tell you, probably next time I won't tell you about my vacation because that'll be before I go on vacation, if all goes according to plan. But after that, I'll tell you about my vacation. But this was a fun thing that happened. Work's been a nightmare. I'm just gonna put it that way. I don't want to talk about it. I cried a lot last week. And anyway, I did get to hold a cute baby last week though, because we had our in-office trick-or-treating. So I got to hold a cute baby. That was great. Anyway, I was driving home. I worked until 7 on Friday. So I was on my way home and I called my mom and I said, oh, hey, I'm on my way home finally. So she texted me and she goes, your uncle texted and he is going to be having tailgate / pole barn Christmas again. Thanksgiving. We're having pole barn Thanksgiving. And I love pole barn Thanksgiving. My uncle, I feel like I need to give some context. My family, my immediate family, this house that we live in, we host Christmas every year. For some reason, the cousins and us are really attached to having Christmas at my house, my parents' house. So that's great. Never ever gonna not complain about having Christmas here. But because we host Christmas, we don't really host Thanksgiving, which means my aunt or my uncle host it. My uncle has a pole barn in his backyard, and a few years ago we did pole barn Thanksgiving with a tailgate theme, and we had set up in the barn a screen for the football game, a space heater, a snack table, beer pong, cornhole. It was just a really fun time, and I'm really excited that we're going to be doing it again this year because legit really love pole barn Christmas. So now we're trying to think Christmas. Shelby, you're a mess. I'm really excited for pole barn Thanksgiving. I said it right. And we're gonna fry a turkey. And I hope there are potatoes. Potatoes are my favorite. I need potatoes all the time right now. So, just because they're a comfort food. So, anyway, I can't believe if you stuck around till the end, like, super kudos to you, because I was so disorganized and I should have made show notes. I didn't. So thank you for sticking around till the bitter end for this one. And thank you for sticking around. And if you made it this far, I'm trying to think of a prompt. Oh, I had one. What? So, tying this in to pole barn Thanksgiving, what are you, because this is November and this is the time of year, at least in the United States. I know that Canada had their Thanksgiving a while. It's not November, it's only October. Jeez, Shelby. Okay, ignore me. But anyway, it's fall, winter's coming. I feel like fall and winter are the times of year that people just kind of like, they love getting together. So this is the theme of my question. Gathering. Gathering is the theme of this. So tell me, what's your favorite thing to do at gatherings of family and friends? So, eating, obviously. I love eating. I love potatoes. I always like there to be potatoes at family gatherings. I'll tell you about Christmas when it gets closer to Christmas though, because there will not be potatoes at Christmas. Anyway, and there's a reason. Anyway, regardless, tell me, favorite thing to do when you are gathering with friends and family, and you can include eating. I like to do puzzles with people. And there's usually a football game on this time of year. And, you know, just talking, catching up, general stuff. So, yes. Please tell me that. I'm gonna get going. Thank you for sticking around. I apologize for how horrible I did this time around. Hopefully next time will be better. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. All right, thank you. Have a nice day.